So my topic is over media in today's society. And my whole purpose is to give information to my audience that is important to know. The author who wrote this book, which is named, and I'll quote, Introduction to Media Literacy, end quote, is considered one of the best self-help books to be made. The one who wrote this book goes by the name of James Potter. The book was about the history behind the media, how it can be a distraction, and also how it can affect us, or how it can affect our health. Not only, but also many advices and suggestions were given from each chapter. So what's the point of all of this? Well, let me tell you. This book not only informs us, but provides what we need to do and don't need to do. And I encourage my audience to listen, because this book goes a lot into research, especially now into this era. While reading this book, I was inspired by what I was reading. For instance, chapter 2, one of the headlines were, and I quote, "Media are harmful," end quote. A special sentence appeared underneath the headline, and that is, and I quote, "The purpose of media literacy is to help people recognize the difference in messages between potential harm and potential benefits," end quote. I have read each chapter in the book. I also developed my own ideas how to cut social media from my daily routines. First, I will give the point of view from each chapter. Second, I will tell my audience how this book helped change my routines. Finally, I will explain why others need to read this book. The first chapter mentions messages, I quote messages, spreading from the movies to the media itself. And that's how it works in this country. Like, if some message was given in a movie, then the news reporter will see that, and he'll report it the next day on the news station, whatever that actor had to say. And this part was considered a statistical fact. One part states, and I quote, "Most of this information is delivered by media messages that aggressively compete for our attention," end quote. And that is spot on true. Yeah, messages are given very aggressively, and I agree with this quote James Potter has given from the book. Now that is out of the way, I'll talk about how it changed my habits. In the book, a question was asked, and I quote, "What are your needs?" end quote. After that, a suggestion was given, and that is, and I quote, "Begin by simply listing all your needs as they pop into your head. At this point, simply brainstorm and list everything you can. You may want to carry this list around for a few days so you can add to it as other needs occur to you. End quote. And I've been I haven't been really doing that recently, but every now and then when someone has like a conversation with me, whatever, I just put my phone in my pocket and just listen to their conversation, because the conversation is way more important than the cellular devices we carry nowadays. Finally, on to encouraging others to read this book. This generation I see now is starting to become lazy, and we're starting to think we're entitled to everything, which we're not. Because social media is interfering with today's society, and it's imperative for millennials to buy this book off AmazonPrime.com or whatever other website you can find this book off of, and read it for a special purpose. And then again, the author who wrote this book, which is named, and I quote, Introduction to Media Literacy, is considered one of the best self-help books to be made. In conclusion, this book is motivating and inspirational. Others might agree or disagree on what I was saying, but at the end, everyone will understand.